China arguably runs the world's biggest propaganda machine. What for? To defend one man, Xi Jinping, the undisputed emperor of China, now sitting on a shaky throne. This is the biggest crisis of his career, the toughest year of his presidency. Xi Jinping overplayed his hand. He was facing global scrutiny. He opened multiple battlefronts, and then he picked a fight with India out of the blue. What did he gain? Nothing. His troops are moving back, however slowly. What did he lose? A lot. I can list 4 things right away. 1, a potential ally in India. 2, India's market and consumers. 3, the world's support or whatever was left of it. And 4, PLA soldiers. China may not admit it, but there's enough to believe that their casualties were high. Unfortunately, China does not value life. Not even the life of the soldiers who sacrificed it for their country. They've got no tributes, not even an acknowledgement that they died fighting. Now let me dwell on the losses a bit. First, the diplomatic relationship. Xi Jinping has dumped the Wuhan spirit, the so-called confidence-building measures with India, the progress from Mamallapuram. With the clash in Galwan, he has burnt bridges with India and undone all the progress made in the last 2 years. He has lost a potential ally in India. Second, Chinese businesses are losing access to one of the largest markets in the world. Chinese products had a free run in India until now. But now they are under scrutiny and the subject of boycott calls. Last year, the value of India's imports from China crossed $70 billion. 70. A large chunk of this could now go away. The government is scrutinizing Chinese investments in India. Indian startups will think twice before accepting an investment from China going forward. Made in China smartphone apps are being banned. They were counting on the massive Indian user base to push China's soft power. 5G giant Huawei could be the next in line. Delhi is reviewing its role. So with one fell move, one military standoff, China is losing the Indian consumer, Indian companies, and the Indian market, not to mention India's trust. The third big loss is the loss of face and global support. World leaders are slamming China, left, right, and center. Xi Jinping has failed to keep his worst impulses in check. And the fourth is the lives of the unsung Chinese soldiers I just spoke about, unceremoniously brushed under the carpet, even in their death. Now, as China's scrutiny grows, it has dawned on the Chinese president that he is losing control at home too. So he is taking drastic steps to strengthen his hand. Typical dictator. 2 decisions highlight how Xi Jinping plans to crush dissent. Decision number 1, Beijing has created a special task force. Its job is political policing. China says it wants to watch political activity to maintain social stability. No one is impressed by the spiel, though. The task force is just another way for Beijing to keep an eye on dissenters. According to a report, this task force has been asked to, quote-unquote, handle the disputes and unrest stemming from the coronavirus pandemic. The announcement comes on a day when a law professor in Beijing was taken away by the police. Zhu Zhangrun is one of the few Chinese academics who dared to speak out against Xi Jinping. He's been detained. The second big curb comes on China's military. Any authoritarian leader cannot rule without complete control over the military. And in China, Xi Jinping has absolute control over the People's Liberation Army, the PLA. He leads the Central Military Commission, or CMC. This is the top decision-making body for China's defense forces, and now Xi Jinping wants greater controls over the PLA. Last month, China had placed the military reserve forces under a centralized and unified command of the Communist Party and the CMC, which means the reserve forces now report to Xi Jinping directly. Now, the Chinese president is going after the purse strings of the generals, the money. A couple of weeks back, the CMC issued a new order. It says that senior military officials will now be subjected to an economic responsibility audit. What does this mean? It means that starting this month, senior officers will be audited. They will be under the lens for how they implement decisions and perform their tasks, especially when it comes to matters of money. This audit will be a part of an officer's performance evaluation. So appointments and dismissals will depend on this audit. Officers will be rewarded and punished based on how they perform in this audit. And this is proof of Xi Jinping's insecurity. The man who came as a reformer is proving to be a power-hungry dictator, burning bridges with the world and empowering himself at home.